If you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go.
Hey, that intro gave me just enough time to clean my glasses. Anyway, I'm back and it's still Sunday, November 25th, and it's 10:22 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's get into the Q posts. Pretty exciting, pretty exciting. Now, if you're not happy after these posts, nothing's going to make you happy. I'm just saying. I mean, really. Okay, let's get started. Now, first thing, it's here's the first post, and he gives us a little picture here, which I'm going to make bigger for you so that you can see it. And then we have a tweet by Donald Trump. So let's take a look here. This is the part that it's referring to an earlier post by Q, and it says December 5th, D5. Now, of course, D5 as avalanches are classified as to 1 to 5, D 1 to 5, and D5 is the most destructive category of avalanche. So we know that one of the meanings of D5 is that. Second meaning of D5 is 45 because D is the fourth letter of the alphabet and President Trump is the 45th president. And of course, December 5th, we've got all sorts of very important things happening that day. So underneath, Q says nothing can stop what is coming. Now that is encouraging. Nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing. This election was not about fixing the economy, trade, borders, military, protecting our children, etc. Also, another corrupt politician or insider can simply undo it, Band-Aid. This was not simply another 4-year election, but a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. And then panic in DC. Now, this YouTube, of course, is the YouTube that says this video will get Donald Trump elected. I can't play it because of copyright, because of the music in it. But if you haven't seen it, please watch it. I think everybody needs to see it. If you just Google "this video will get Donald Trump elected," you will find it. Underneath, Q says panic in DC. Q. Now, one thing I can guarantee you, tonight in Washington, D.C., oh, I bet you the panic is spreading like wildfire. Oh, yeah. And, yeah, after I'm finished with these posts, you'll see why. They're panicking. Boy, they're probably going out and buying up all the Depends, which, as I've said before, I wouldn't want to buy a continent and an incontinence product called Depends. I would maybe want one called For Sure's. But anyway, I bet you they're buying them up like crazy tonight in DC. So let's go back to the post. Now, underneath this picture here of what I just read and the tweet by Donald Trump, Q says the following: everything stated has a purpose. Maggie, now that's Maggie Haberman. We know that she is a tool of the deep state and has been. She's a reporter for the New York Times regarding WL, and I would assume that's WikiLeaks. Maggie drops WikiLeaks attack Q. Do you believe in coincidences? Be extremely vigilant in December. See something, say something. Extreme panic in DC. Where we go one, we go all. Q. I wonder, and I sincerely hope not, because I want these people brought to justice, and justice under the law, not what do they call that? Vigilante justice. We don't need that. We want justice under the law, under the American law. That's what we want. But I can assume that after this post, wouldn't surprise me if there are suicides. I pray not, but it wouldn't surprise me. Now, let's go up to the next post. Now, the next post is making reference to the post that we just looked at, and we have no need to look at it again, but underneath, Q has referenced it, but underneath, this is very interesting. Corsi, attempt, infiltrate Q. So that is very, very interesting because I never trusted Corsi and I never got a warm fuzzy from him. I remember when Q first started and I was listening to Corsi and some others discuss it, and it was like they never really discussed it. They never really broke the drops down. And I remember thinking there was something off there. And and then of course Q named Corsi. And here again. So he's saying that it was an attempt to infiltrate. So that's interesting. Mueller, Corsi. So was Mueller giving Corsi information? I would assume that's what that means. Corsi, plea deal. Why would he need a plea deal if he hadn't done anything wrong? Right? There are bad people who pretend to be good. Well, ain't that the truth? There's a whole bunch of bad people who pretend to be good. Deception, nobody knows they're being deceived. And some of the most evil people can be the most deceiving. There's a reason for that, but I'm not going to get into it because it would pull us off topic. Now, it says reread drops regarding warnings. And let's take a look at this link that Q has provided us, because obviously it's providing us with some information that we need. And we have to wait for my computer because something's going goofy here. There we go. Have to talk nice to it sometimes. You know, make it a sandwich. Oh, crap. This is the Washington Post. Dang it. All right. Well, it's the Washington Post, people. So, you know what that means. Now, where am I? Okay, this is the real Q. This is my Q. I always take them and copy them onto a Word document so that I can keep them. Anyway, let's see. New book by Trump advisors calls out the president's embedded enemies. So, interesting that this is about new book by Trump advisors. Trump advisors calls out the president's embedded enemies. So, is Corsi one of those? Is Mueller one of those? I don't know. It would be interesting, and if you have access to the New York or to the Wall Street Journal, to the Washington Post, rather, and because they let you look at so many free ones before they, try to say you can't see any more unless you pay, and I really hate to pay for fake news, but what do you do? Those most who left the White House did not have a choice. That answers a lot of questions, really, because there are people that have left that you wonder, well, are they leaving because they want to leave, or are they leaving because they have to leave? Now, Q is answering this for us. Most who left the White House did not have a choice. So the majority of those that left the White House didn't have a choice about it. Then he says, fake news. Fake MAGA. Fake Make America Great Again. So I think what he's saying here is there are people that may go around touting Make America Great Again, but they are no more for Trump than, say, Hillary. And apparently he's pointing out that Corsi is one of these and that he's made a plea deal. Well, he's obviously done something wrong if he makes a plea deal, don't you think? There are bad people pretending to be good. I'm sure that that's who he's pointing to when he's saying that. There are bad people pretending to be good. Sure, he's not the only one, but he is the one that's the subject of this drop. Transparency is the only way. Patriots united. Q. And we are thankful for Q because he has given us transparency. Now, I do believe that there are times that he may have given us misinformation because, and he's even said misinformation is necessary. So, I don't know. I think that for the most part, I mean, there's been so many Q proofs, I don't know how anybody could be questioning at this point, although there still are people that are. So let's go on and let's hit the next one. Okay. Now, I think this is the one that might make you happy. Really, really happy. You know what would make me happy? You know what would make me really, really, really happy? You know, these cats, they just sit here. They listen to me. I've been supporting them for 21 years. Yes, that's right, 21 years. I've been buying their food. I've been scooping their poop. Been, buying them toys, taking them to the vet. Never once have they ever made me a sandwich. I mean, don't you think that's the least they could do? Anyway, I've given up on that, but this made me pretty happy. All right, now, this alludes to an earlier post. Q is drawing our attention to an earlier post here from September 15th. And that post was concerning Executive Order 13526, Section 1.7. And it says, classification, prohibitions, and limitations. A. In no case shall information be classified, continued to be maintained as classified, or fail to be declassified in order to 1. Conceal violations of law, inefficiency, or administrative error. 2. Prevent embarrassment to a person, organization, or agency. 3. Restrain competition. Or 4. Prevent or delay the release of information that does not require protection in the interest of national security. Q. Now, Q is drawing our attention to that. Oh, that drives me crazy. All right, and let's go below here. And he continues. Whitaker, now you're about to get happy. Whitaker, in conjunction with the Office of the Inspector General, approved the release of classified documents 1 to 4 as requested by the House Committee and as ordered by the President of the United States. I'll give you a moment to stand up and cheer, run around the room, do your crazy dance. I was absolutely elated by this. Will the release occur prior to scheduled testimony? Well, that's the question, isn't it? List advantages. Excuse me, and that's probably loud, hearing me gulp that right in front of the microphone. Will the release occur prior to the scheduled testimony? Not will it be released at all? We know it's going to be released now. List advantages. Will the release occur post scheduled testimony? List advantages. If those testifying know select classified documents will become public, self-incrimination, how might that alter or change their testimony? Well, if these people, some of them have been pretty smug because it's classified and they know it's not, they figured it wasn't going to become public. But now they know that it is going to become public and everything's going to be known. So should they testify and incriminate themselves further? Probably not. It would be best if they told the truth because they have it all anyway. And they've said they have it all. Strange. I don't cough during the day. I really don't. Whew. All right. If those testifying no select classified documents will become public, self-incrimination, how might that alter change their testimony? DC has become rat infested. Yes, I agree. I agree. Now, he gives this link, which we're going to go to now, because I want to show you where he's getting this. And this is taken from this link. So let's go out there now. And this is the exact executive order. Classified National Security Information, Executive Order 13526, Title 3, the President. And this is the whole executive order, but Q, thankfully, draws our attention to what it is we need to see. So we're going to go back and listen, because Q has pulled out of that document what we need to know. And it's the same as he referred to earlier. Executive Order 13526, Section 1.7, Classified Prohibitions and Limitations. A. In no case shall information be classified, continue to be maintained as classified, or fail to be declassified in order to conceal violations of the law, inefficiency, or administrative error, prevent embarrassment to a person, organization, or agency, restrain competition, or prevent or delay the release of information that does not require protection in the interest of national security. Does UK stand with the US or only select divisions within the US? I would say select divisions, because UK has clearly shown us that they are not for this POTUS. Does Australia stand with the US or only select divisions within the US? Same thing. It has been made abundantly clear to us that Australia is not for this POTUS. Will immediate actions be publicly taken within each country to reunify the bond that was once held prior to Class 9 COLA? Do you know, I'm not sure what that is. And actually, I just noticed that. I should have looked that up. Prior to reunify the bond that was once held prior to Class 9 KOALA. What is that? Hang on. KO. Is that it? No, I'm telling you, I'm getting tired already. Dun, 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 dun. I'm glad you guys are very patient. KOALA. KOALA. Whoops. Ah. Okay, we don't want the animal. Don't know. Oh, Department of Qualify. Oh, okay, no. Okay, I'm going to have to look this up on my own time and bring it to you guys at a later time. It won't be tonight, I can guarantee you that, but tomorrow. I'll look it up. I'll find out what he's talking about there, and I'll let you guys know. And if you guys find out, let me know. So, all right. There we go. That is it for that particular post. But it's a very important one, because we know now that it's going to be declassified. Excuse me. Now, this is the last post, and I'm glad that he has addressed border security, because it's what's on everybody's mind today. It certainly is what's on my mind today, given the news. So, excuse me. All right. Border security equals national security, and we know that. FY 2019 defense spending bill, and he leaves the link, which we're going to go out to, budget overview, budget reconciliation. So let's look at this first. Okay, this is the fiscal year 2019 defense budget, restoring and rebuilding America's military. And we know that that is first and foremost on Trump's mind. President Donald J. Trump signed a $1.3 trillion spending bill on March 23rd, 2018 that includes a $160 billion boost in defense spending over 2 years, reversing years of decline and unpredictable funding. So we know that Obama absolutely depleted the military. We know that. Now, Trump signed the $1.3 trillion spending bill on March 23rd, but it's interesting because wouldn't you say that a border wall would be national defense? I would. So I think that's what he's getting at here, is that, okay, we have this money. He's already budgeted it. It's in the defense budget because it's defense. So that is, there's nothing else here. And so I have to conclude that that is what he's saying, because let's go back. He says, this is the defense spending bill, and then it says budget overview, budget reconciliation. Now, he says, what if the House fails prior to majority change? Isn't that interesting? Just think about that. He's asking that question. Why would he be asking that question if it's not a possibility? What if the House fails prior to majority change? What vested authority does the Constitution grant a sitting president regarding matters of national security? Then he says, thank you, Mr. Soros. Q. Now, we wouldn't be having this matter of national security if it wasn't for Mr. Soros, now would we? So I think what he's saying here is he does have the authority to authorize yeah, I think, in matters of national security. Well, isn't the border national security? Absolutely. Especially when there are, people that are most definitely not just, people from South America and Central America and Mexico. We know there are all sorts of types that are coming across that border because it's so porous. And really, we need to be concerned about the Canadian border too, because we let everybody in up here. Seriously, everybody. Doesn't matter what you've done. You'll be allowed in. So that should concern Americans. It really should. I mean, I know we've always been viewed as your friendly neighbor to the north. Well, I don't know if you're aware of how much the climate has changed here. We're not so friendly anymore. I am, because I consider myself American, but trust me, not so friendly anymore. Now, he also left a link to this, and this is interesting too, because what this is, it's called countable.us. And it's asking a question and wanting response. Should the border wall be funded using the reconciliation process? Well, I'm not quite sure what the reconciliation process is. And here, what is it? The bill, the 50 votes for the Wall Act, would allow the budget reconciliation process to be used to provide up to $25 billion for the construction of a border wall and other security-related infrastructure before January 19th, 2021. Funds would go into a border wall and security trust fund, which would cease to exist on September 30th, 2028, and any unobligated funding remaining in the trust at that date would be returned to the general fund of the Treasury. So, there's 50 votes that are required, apparently, for this reconciliation process. Now, impact. Tax dollars and the border wall and security trust fund and Congress. Cost. A CBO cost estimate is unavailable. More information. So Bradley Byrne introduced this bill to use the budget reconciliation process to fund construction of the border wall. Border security is national security, and we cannot allow Democrats to continue to block our efforts to build a wall along our southern border. I agree. This is why I'm introducing the 50 Votes for the Wall Act, which creates a process to overcome the Democrat obstruction and move forward with plans to construct President Donald Trump's border wall. 63 million Americans voted for President Trump with the promise of building a wall because they want us to finally secure our borders. Amen. Yes. With the 50 votes for the Wall Act, we can make the wall a reality and ensure the safety of the American people. And isn't that what's most important? This legislation has the support of 19 co-sponsors, all of whom are Republican. Well, that doesn't surprise me that all of them are Republican. So, media. I can't believe, it's not hard to believe that there's no media, except for Alabama Today. Good for you. And Act for America, they're in favor. So, okay, so 50 votes for the Wall Act to provide for reconciliation pursuant to Title II of the concurrent resolution on the budget for fiscal year 2019. So, and they're asking here for your opinion. So I would go ahead and give it. It is countable.us. And there's /bills/HR. Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put this in the description. And yes, I will remember because it's at the end of the video. So I will do that. In fact, I'll copy it right now. All right. So that is what they are proposing. And the yay side says border security is too important to be blocked by a Senate filibuster, so funding for the border wall should be provided through the reconciliation process that only requires a simple majority. The nay side says this bill is going nowhere and represents an abuse of the budget reconciliation process. Spending $25 billion on a border wall shouldn't happen without the votes of at least 60 senators. Well, what Q is saying is, what happens if the House fails prior to the majority change? That must be going to happen, folks. Really. So then he asks, what vested authority does the Constitution grant a sitting president regarding matters of national security? Well, he has the right. And it is a matter of national security. And then he says, thank you, Mr. Soros. I guess, thank you, Mr. Soros, because we're going to be able to build the wall now. Now that you've overstepped your boundary. Now that you've shown yourself. So, yeah. Now, tell me, did these posts make you happy? Because they made me happy. They made my Sunday. They made my whole week. They made my month. They might have made my whole year. Nah. Well, maybe. This is good news, people. Really, really good news. Because we've been hearing about this stuff for a year. We're seeing it come to pass. This is what we've wanted. It's great. So anyway, I'm going to end there. It's now 10:51 p.m. Eastern Time. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night, that you sleep well, stay well, and of course, stay safe. I'll talk to you soon.